Good evening, everybody. It is always very energizing to be in the midst of students. It was a bit nostalgic to enter the campus because it's been a long time since of course, I did go to a Chennai Institute of Technology close to Chennai here. So that gave the same nostalgic feeling because I was in the midst of students. That gives you extra energy every time you get to know students. First of all, I would like to thank our Swami Maharaj Secretary and the Evening College in charge, as well as Dr. Chandrasekhar Principal, Dr. Sriram, the Evening College Coordinator, and Dr. V. Manikandan, who was kind enough to invite me to this event. It is appropriately named as HR practices. You're going to talk about HR practices or hear about HR practices for the next 3 or 4 days. It's interesting because during my career in TCS, I also had an ambition that I would like to be part of the HR team. Then somewhere I read that HR should be practiced by the leader. It cannot be facilitated by a HR department. It has to be imbibed in you as a leader. If you have a set of people working for you, who is better than taking care of you than the leader to whom you report to? If he doesn't take care of me, how can a third person actually have any influence on your growth, on your well-being, and other aspects of your growth? That is where I suddenly decided maybe I'm good at working with people. I always used to get a high rating on my interpersonal skills, as they call it in TCS terminology. There's a lot of jargon used by the HR people in TCS. So interpersonal skills is a very important attribute of any leader because he has to be able to work with his team, across teams, across peers, and to his supervisors. Only then you will succeed as a person. So if you look at the career growth of any individual, and forget, because I'm kind of, they take a blood test of my blood, it comes out not as RBC, it says TCS. Because 40 years is a long time spent. You spend more time in TCS than with my wife. So it is important for you to understand the TCS word will keep coming even without me wanting to. But I just want to give you a perspective of growth. All of you do not know what is your potential. We had a theme which said, realize your potential. In my school days and my college days and all that, I always used to come second rank. Once I went and told my mother that I'm 4th rank in my class. She said, 4th is a good rank, no? No, but there are only 5 students in my class. This was post-graduation ME instrumentation. So it is important for you to always think, why am I coming second rank? Why can't I be in the first rank? It so happened that once I got out of the school and started writing the final examination in my school, there are a certain set of people who always come, that they occupy the first 4 ranks in your college for all the internal assessment. They will be there, mine will be the 5th name. But when the final exam happens, the papers go outside of the school to be corrected. So when the marks came, I was 17th in the state and 1st rank in the school. The whole school was shocked because they didn't know who was this PRK. In fact, my headmaster called and asked my assistant headmaster, who is this PR Krishnan who seemed to have got the 1st rank? Why is not, I don't know to name the person, these 2 guys not in the 1st rank? So this is our student, sir, PR Krishnan. Oh, then he called me. So that's the first time he got introduced to me. And the students around actually asked me, oh, this is the guy. Because when I used to go in a cycle, a whole bunch of guys will come along with you. Oh, this is the guy who came 1st rank. Is it? I have never seen him in the school. So innocuous person suddenly comes to the limelight. You don't know how to handle it. So, but the most important thing which happened to me at that point in time, I would call it the turning point, is I got confidence. Until then, I always think, oh, the other guys are better than me. That is when you start realizing your potential. Something has to trigger which makes you feel that you can do better than them. In the initial days, this is an important lesson I want you to carry as a message from me today. In the initial days of TCS will take people from IIT only. They will only recruit people. This I'm talking about early 70s and 80s when TCS was recruiting from the campus. I was one odd guy out. I came from a college which was not in the elite list. I came from Coimbatore Institute of Technology in Coimbatore and Madras Institute of Technology from Krompet. I happened to get recruited in TCS for a particular knowledge. Microprocessor was the technology at that point in time. 1980s, it was evolving as a technology, and I knew that. Because of that, they recruited me, in spite of the fact that I was not from an IIT. You get into TCS and then you are always compared. Oh, the guy sitting next to me is from IIT Kanpur, is from IIT Kharagpur, is from IIT. I am not from IIT. That day I resolved to myself, I'll beat them in their own game, is what you tell yourself. If that guy is brilliant because he's from an elite institute, I will work twice harder than him to be better than him. The only attribute all of you can imbibe in your life is hard work. You should work so hard that nobody can beat you in that. All of us are above average or super duper in our subjects. Anybody can beat that. Our academic system is such that all of you can do well in that. But that particular attribute of working very hard, nobody can take it away from you. So take that as a lesson, and that is how my growth in the company happened. That I was working twice harder than the person sitting next to me. But actually, a person resigned from TCS saying, "Oh, I had to work with a non-IIT guy, so I'm resigning." He said that in front of me to my boss. So these things kind of resolve you, make you tougher, make you a better person in facing the world. That is what you call as realizing your potential. So all of you have a potential. A circumstance, a situation has to arise where you start realizing that I can do this. So when you read out my profile, each one of them, I'm not boasting, I'm really proud of it. Because it was blood and sweat, which it was not anything brilliant. There are only two things which kept me going. One is, of course, hard work. Second is being able to work with people. I have no ego. If I have to learn a particular technology, I will go and sit with a trainee. Even after 10 years of experience, I'll go sit with a trainee and learn the technology. When I was an executive vice president of automation and AI, I did not know those technologies. I went and wrote a test to qualify myself that I have been certified in AI. The second part of my message, learning, continuous learning. Today I am working in some community service. I want to know what is social entrepreneurship. I actually want to learn that. So I'm trying to register in a course or in a certification to learn social entrepreneurship. That is how the thirst for learning should be there with you always. That will help you and keep you in good stead throughout your life. There are three attributes, or I said, all of you have a bank account, right? Savings bank account. Forget about that bank. All of you should have 3 bank accounts. Number 1 bank account is your knowledge bank. Be thorough in what you have specialized in. If you are a commerce student, be aware of all the aspects of what a commerce student can do next. You could be a finance person, you can be an accountant, you could be a financial analyst, you could be a financial modeling guy, or you can be a data analytics guy who will be able to do sentiment analysis on the stock market. So many avenues of growth are there. Or you could become a cost accountant, or you could become a company secretary. So the options are enormous. That can be achieved only with your knowledge bank. Continuously keep depositing something in your knowledge bank every day. The second bank you have to be aware of is network bank, I call it. Networking. How do you network with good people? It is not the number of friends you have in Facebook or LinkedIn. It is how many people you genuinely know, and you will be able to do what they have done to you. I had an example of someone in my team. We were desperately looking out for a team member to join our team. We didn't get anywhere. Suddenly this lady comes in and says, PRK, I know this guy who has got this competency. I said, who? Oh, but that he lives in Ecuador. I didn't even know where Ecuador was. We found out ultimately. And we said, we'll ask that guy whether he can go. She said, no, you will not ask. I will ask. Because I know him. He has worked in my project. He respects me for me being his project leader. She called. She said, ma'am, you tell me where I should go. I'll go tomorrow. We shifted him from Ecuador to Chicago just to take care of that project. That is network. Network of people who will come in to your help, but you should also reciprocate it. Whenever someone calls you, you should be able to help him. That network is very important from your progress and realizing your potential. The third bank, the most important bank whenever you join any organization, I call it the Goodwill Bank. Goodwill Bank is what you leave behind when you go. When you leave this college, you should have a goodwill left with your professors, your juniors, your peers. They will keep you in good stead. When you join an organization, the goodwill you retain within that organization is extreme. Otherwise, why would Mr. Navneet Ramani call me, can you come to Vivekananda College and give a lecture on HR practices? Goodwill. I know his father, a great man, and he's also from TCS. So suddenly he seemed to have remembered me and said yesterday, I think it was day before yesterday, he called me, can you come on Monday? I said, fine. That is goodwill. That means there is some regard for me that Navneet remembered, and I'm sure his father would remember me. So that is what is called as Goodwill Bank. It will come in handy throughout your lifetime. It is not just about the professional life, but also about your personal life. So these are the three banks you should be continuously refurbishing. It has to be refreshed continuously, because at every stage in your life you require different aspects of network bank, Goodwill Bank, and knowledge bank. Coming back to where you are today, you are on the threshold of starting a new journey. Believe me, you're not at the end point, because I told you learning is continuous. So you will graduate as a BCom graduate. So what are the options available in front of you? Network bank will come in useful because you can start establishing connect with your seniors, your professors, take advice from them, or industry veterans whom you may know. Take their advice, find a mentor who can help you make that guidance, give that guidance. They have to be good guides, good mentors, good coaches, good trainers. That is where the selection of your network bank is extremely important, because they could drive you to the wrong decisions or drive you down the wrong path. Keep that in mind. The options available would essentially be that you would want to do a post-graduation, you would want to do management, you would want to do company secretaryship, you would want to do chartered accountancy. Some people I have seen, at least in my family, many of them have done BCom and practiced chartered accountant at the same time. And they did well. So some are capable of it. That's where I said your potential will be known only to you. And for that, you'll have to identify an opportunity where you realize your potential. So some of them did well, that he could do both of them and do well in both of them. So which means he becomes, we call it future ready. That's a term, favorite term used by us. Future ready means you've gotten yourself ready for the future. BCom is only one step, or the first step towards your growth. Future ready means you have to be ready for what the future wants you to be, not the other way about. There is an opportunity in analytics. There is an opportunity in automation. If you take account, there are two parts to a graduate's vision in this journey. One is about accountancy. One is about finance. If you look at these two aspects of your opportunity, accountancy as a function has lended itself to technology and automation much more easily, because there are certain aspects of accountancy which can be automated. If you look at today, I just filed my ITR. I was asking my auditor, you have done all the way to the final step. You have given me the 26A form and the AIS. Only the one step is to just put it under the income tax portal and then allow me to pay. The whole process can be automated. Take the money from my bank, and why have you not done it? Oh, you'll have to ask TCS to do it. That's not the point. You'll have to understand that that is likely to happen. Then what do I do with the auditors? There is a human step in the whole process where he or she has to ensure or verify. I don't know if any of you have noticed, there was something called CrowdStrike in the last couple of days, where the airline industry, the banking industry, everybody got affected. It was a very, very simple mistake, but it affected the whole industry. In fact, when I was running the automation unit, I did when I say I did, because I become accountable, my team member might have done it. He did a mistake in the automation. Automation, usually today it is called bots. In the previous generation, it used to be called robos. You know, robos were very common in manufacturing industry. Today they call it bots because it is not a physical thing like robo. It is a software piece of code. It will go and do the same thing again and again, but do it faster. He went and did a mistake in one of my insurance customer, that the bot completely went out of control. So what is used to start at night 9 o'clock and end in the morning 6 o'clock didn't stop at all, because there was a bug in the code. And you can imagine the chaos. Then I had to listen to my customers shouting at me and all that. So that is where human intervention is important, to ensure that you control the bots or the automation which happens in your industry. You know best. If you're an accountant, you know better what works. If you're a chartered accountant, you know better what PRK has submitted as his assets, and he's filing the right things when he files his income tax. So your current profile as a commerce graduate moves into either an accountancy space or to a finance space. And both of them are the lifeline of this, the way this world runs. For you to be updated on the different aspects, finance is probably more difficult, is my personal feeling, because there is analytics involved in it, there is sentiment analysis involved in it. The amount of technology getting embedded in finance is much higher. You will not believe in IT, you will think that IT is only computers. No, we had chartered accountants who made a career out of IT. But what did they do? They went and studied the insurance practices of the world insurance industry and computerized them or automated them. That's how we run the business of insurance within our company. Same thing with banking. But what you miss there is, these experts, we call them subject matter expert. So you are an accountant or you are a finance guy. You will say, I will be MBA in finance. MBA in finance are good people to have in your sales team. Can you believe it? Why would I need a finance guy in my sales team? Can any of you guess? He will tell you whether this deal is worth it or not. Sir, don't take this deal, your margins are very poor. Sir, don't take this deal. You cannot execute it because you don't have the money to invest in this part of the technology. Because he knows the finance part of the company, so he will advise you. A sales guy doesn't know. All he thinks is that he can just sell. Whereas the finance guy will become the police for you. He will put the controls in place to ensure you do the right thing. They are required for a company to be successful. So the finances, we call them business finance managers. That's how we call them. They are the gatekeepers of our sales team. They will ensure the sales team doesn't go overboard and sell something which will affect the P&L of our company. We have a whole bunch of BFMs. For every business, we have a BFM. And all of them are either MBA finance, chartered accountants, cost accountants, all kinds of qualifications. They have certifications. They are very, very comfortable using all the tools available and the technology available. And they go with the sales team and talk to the customer in equal terms. Same thing is legal also. Legal guys is part of the team. So that's how the big deals you talk about, the BSNL deal, you talk about Passport Seva. Passport Seva, my CEO said, I have to take the project, but I'll never make money throughout my life. But he took the project. It's an obligation to the country, so he said, I will do that project. So there are certain calls are made, which you feel is important for the company. It may not give the P&L you want, but the finance guy will say, don't take this project. He has to stand up to the CEO to say, please don't take this project. You will never make money. Some calls will be overruled by the CEO, but these are the roles a finance guy makes, in at least in not just an IT company. I'm talking about in any corporate, you will see this. So you as on the threshold of a new career in front of you, you have a choice to make. You can go work either in the banking and financial services industry with this degree, but don't stop with this degree. This is my humble submission to all of you. Learn more. Get to know computers. Computers are part of your life. Understand the packages available to do your job faster, better, and quicker. It's important. That's the only advice I would give. And work very hard. I know there's a lot of social media things about work-life balance. Think about a doctor. Will he talk about work-life balance? It's only the pampered IT guys talk about work-life balance. For me, it was only work. That doesn't mean I compromised on my personal life. I took care of my son whenever he was in the +2 or 10th or whatever. I just switch off everything and go teach him. I used to go home at 6 o'clock. My boss used to ask me, kya PRK half day kya? He thinks when I go home at 6 o'clock, he thinks it is half a day for me. That's how I used to work. And I expect that from my people who worked for me. And they didn't have a problem. When I'm doing a quarter end closure, my finance guy will work with me until 2 o'clock in the morning because I have to make a presentation to my CEO the next day morning. Until 2 o'clock, both of us are working. And she was a lady and she had a family. She had a small kid. But PRK, let me work on it. I'll wake you up at 2 o'clock, she will say. And she'll wake me up at 2 o'clock. So some of these things I may sound very old and legacy type of mindset. But when you want to do a good job and you want to be proud of the job you are doing, you are not doing this job for the money, you are not doing the job, you are doing it for yourself. Anything you do, if people think it is low quality, you should be ashamed. For that, you have to put that much more effort. And the path you choose, especially in the finance and accounting, will have quarterly headaches, monthly headaches, because in TCS we close our accounts every month. So every month is important for us. And our accounting team and the finance team will work very, very hard to do it. But you reduce your accounting team from 100 to 20 to 30 people because we computerize the whole process. So that's my humble submission. I will end with this because otherwise I'll go on and on for 2 whole nights. But I just want to leave you with this message that take care of your 3 banks. Can you please name the 3 banks I talked to you about? Anybody? Yeah. So it's important you keep that in mind, and all of you should realize your potential. Don't compartmentalize yourself. Be broad-based, but be an expert in one area. That's how you would want to grow yourself. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to all of you, and all the best for your wonderful career.